This video is designed to help you start a worm farm business. At the end of the video, you'll find a valuable gift. It's a worm farm business plan that you can download, and we'll lay down for you, step by step, everything you need to know to start a successful worm farm business of your own. If you are new to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. The most important element of your worm farm system is these wriggly creatures. Worms are an afterthought for most people, only seen as creepy crawlies, but they do so much more. They eat our kitchen scraps, and provide us with something better in return, but not all worms thrive in worm bins. The following are our recommendations for the best worms for worm farms. Red wigglers. Red wigglers, also known as Asenia fetida, are the most common and popular worms used in worm farming, growing up to 5 inches in length. These crawlers can consume their body weight in organic material in a single day, making them the quickest species to consume and produce worm castings. They also reproduce quickly, preferring a more humid and warm environment for that reason. European night crawlers. European night crawlers, also known as super red worms, are the red wigglers' bigger brothers. They eat and reproduce more slowly than regular red worms, but they are still much faster than other species. Super reds can withstand a wider range of temperatures in their worm bins, making them low maintenance and an excellent choice for those just starting out with worm farming. They are also used as fishing bait, and are particularly beneficial in aerating garden soil and lawns. Worm bin. A worm bin is the place your worms will call home for their entire lives. That is why you need to carefully choose what materials you use. Wood and plastic bins are the most commonly used, because they do not have any antimicrobial properties. Bacteria and other microbes are needed for worms to thrive and start the microbial process. There are other types of vermiculture systems that might work for you, such as a stacked tray bin. It saves space by literally stacking trays and having different levels for the worms to move up to, and leave their castings behind for easy collection. You can also go the traditional route, and use a rectangular bin that sits on the soil like the subpod in garden compost system. There is no need to drill holes because they are already built into the bin, allowing oxygen to reach the worms and keeping the bedding moist enough. Worm food. It is a common misconception that all food scraps can be thrown into the worm bin, but this is not true. Certain foods, like humans, are beneficial to the worms while others may cause problems in the bin. The worm's normal diet consists of organic kitchen waste, such as vegetables, fruits, eggshells, and coffee grounds. Shredded newspapers and tea bags are also excellent sources of food for the worms. Food scraps containing meat or dairy products should not be added, because they are often too oily or difficult to digest and attract fruit flies. Acidic food scraps like that from citrus fruits are toxic to the bin, because pH levels are not balanced. Bedding. You can put all the worms you want into a worm bin, but if the worm bed conditions are not ideal, they will either die or escape. Ideal worm bedding needs to mimic the natural habitat of the worms. The following materials are what is recommended for worm bin bedding: shredded paper, not bleached; wood chips; peat moss; coconut coir; shredded brown corrugated cardboard. Marketing. You need to determine if there is a potential market for your products. While it may seem appealing, because you have the land and manpower to do it, you have to check first if there are people who are going to buy your products. Your main markets are the fishing and composting industry. The fishing industry will always be looking for quality worms to use as bait. If you opt to sell worm castings as compost material, you are looking for farmers, greengrocers, and businesses who are on the path to sustainability. Research about worms. As with any business venture, you have to do your homework. Before you can answer the question, how to start a worm farm, you must first determine why you want to do so. The first thing to do is to learn all you can about worms. Read articles, books, and online resources to get your facts about worms right. You must research the best type of worm to use in your specific climate, because not all worms are suitable for all temperatures. Check that you have enough food waste to feed your worms commercially. Getting the proper pH and moisture levels is also a science that you have to learn and master. Start small. Worm farming is not everyone's cup of tea. It takes a special talent to really grow a business like this. We recommend starting small, purchasing a worm farm kit, and seeing how it goes. You need to see if you have both the time and money to dedicate to these wiggly creatures, because doing vermiculture as a part-time hobby and as a full-time business are two very different things. The next part of the video is not specific to a worm farm business. Nevertheless, this knowledge is essential for success in the worm farm business, as well as in any other business. Ignore it at your own peril. Operating a successful worm farm business will depend on the following 4 conventions. 1. A practical plan, with a solid foundation. 2. Dedication, and willingness to sacrifice, to reach your goal. 3. Technical skills. 4. Basic knowledge of management, finance, record keeping and market analysis. As a new owner, you will need to master these skills and techniques if your business is to be successful. 1. Does your product or service satisfy an unfilled need? 2. Will your product or service serve an existing market in which demand exceeds supply? 3. Will your product or service be competitive based on its quality, selection, price, or location? Market analysis. For a small business to be successful, the owner must know the market. To learn the market, you must analyze it, a process that takes time and effort. You don't have to be a trained statistician to analyze the marketplace, nor does the analysis have to be costly. Analyzing the market is a way to gather facts about potential customers and to determine the demand for your product or service. The more information you gather, the greater your chances of capturing a segment of the market. Know the market before investing your time and money in any business venture. The following questions will help you collect the information necessary to analyze your market and determine if your product or service will sell. This brief exercise will give you a good idea of the kind of market planning you need to do. An answer of no to any of the questions indicates a weakness in your plan, so do your research until you can answer each question with a yes. 1. Do you know who your customers will be? 2. Do you understand their needs and desires? 3. Do you know where they live? 4. Will you be offering the kind of products or services that they will buy? 5. Will your prices be competitive in quality and value? 6. Will your promotional program be effective? 7. Do you understand how your business compares with your competitors? 8. Will your business be conveniently located for the people you plan to serve? 9. Will there be adequate parking facilities for the people you plan to serve? Planning your startup. The following questions are grouped according to function. They are designed to help you prepare for opening day. Merchandise. Have you decided what items you will sell or produce, or what services you will provide? Have you made a merchandise plan, based upon estimated sales, to determine the amount of inventory you will need to control purchases? Have you found reliable suppliers, who will assist you in the startup? Have you compared the prices, quality, and credit terms of suppliers? Business records. Are you prepared to maintain complete records of sales, income and expenses, accounts payable, and receivables? Have you determined how to handle payroll records, tax reports, and payments? Do you know what financial reports should be prepared, and how to prepare them? Finances. A large number of small businesses fail each year. There are a number of reasons for these failures, but one of the main reasons is insufficient funds. Too many entrepreneurs try to start and operate a business without sufficient capital, money. To avoid this dilemma, you can review your situation by analyzing the following 3 questions. 1. How much money do you have? 2. How much money will you need to start your business? 3. How much money will you need to stay in business? In order to answer the second question, how much money will you need to start your business? You need to prepare an estimate of all your startup costs. Here is a list of items you may need to take into account. Note that this list is for a retail business. Items will vary for service, construction, manufacturing or online firms. Decorating and remodeling, fixtures and equipment, installing fixtures and equipment, services and supplies, beginning inventory cost, legal, professional fees, licenses and permits, telephone utility deposits, insurance, signs, advertising for opening, unanticipated expenses. Now, the answer to the third question, how much money will you need to stay in business, must be divided into 2 parts, immediate costs and future costs. From the moment the door to your new business opens, a certain amount of income may come in. However, this income should not be projected in your operating expenses. You will need enough money available to cover costs for at least the first 3 months of operation. The following list will help you project your operating expenses on a monthly basis. Typical expenses for 1 month may include your living costs, employee wages, rent, advertising, supplies, utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, delivery, transportation, miscellaneous. Now sum up the total estimated monthly expenses and multiply it by 3. This is the amount of cash you will need to cover operating expenses for 3 months. Deposit this amount in a savings account before opening your business. Use it only for those purposes listed in the above list, because this money will ensure that you will be able to continue in business during the crucial early stages. By adding the total startup costs to the total expenses for 3 months, you can learn what the estimated costs will be to start and operate your business for 3 months. By subtracting the totals of the lists from the cash available, you can determine the amount of additional financing you may need, if any. Now you will need to estimate your operating expenses for the first year after startup. The first step in determining your annual expenses is to estimate your sales volume, month by month. Next, determine the cost of sales. You may want to use a spreadsheet to do this. After startup, the primary source of revenue in your business will be from sales, but your sales will vary from month to month because of seasonal patterns and other factors. It is important to determine if your monthly sales will produce enough income to pay each month's bills. An estimated cash flow projection will show if the monthly cash balance is going to be subject to such factors as the following: failure to recognize seasonal trends, excessive cash taken from the business for living expenses, too rapid expansion, and slow collection of accounts if credit is extended to customers. Conclusion: if you have carefully answered all the questions in this video, you have seriously thought about your goal. However, there may be some things you may feel you need to know more about. Owning and running a worm farm business is a continuous learning process. Research your idea, and do as much as you can, yourself, but don't hesitate to seek help from people who can tell you what you need to know. As we conclude this video, it's time you get your free worm farm business plan gift. Go to the description below this video to get it now. It is completely free, no strings attached. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this.